Good evening, welcome back to my no-name channel, and this is another Bali COVID-19 update, and today is May 17th, 2020, and I'm Bruce Bowman. And so, what's happening? Let's look at the numbers first. Just went up a little bit, and today is 346 total cases. 243 have been cured, are healthy now. 4 deaths, so we haven't had any deaths in a long time. And less than 100 active cases, 99, so that's great news. Things are looking good. I'm being cautiously optimistic today. And I'm filming inside because it's night, and it was raining before when I wanted to film, so I'm in. So what's happening? So first, what's going on with the cases that I talked about last time in Bondalem here in Bondalem? They're just about done with their 14-day quarantine, and the people have been tested again in 2 villages there, Bondalem and Jula, and everybody is negative. Good news. So they can get back to business soon. And up in Bangli, everybody is tested negative again. And so the 2 clusters that were worrisome have been taken care of. And as I said, things are starting to look good. So that's where we are in the numbers. And next, opening Bali and when? Well, according to a number of news sources, the government is considering opening Bali up along with 4 other areas in Indonesia, possibly as soon as October, and depending on how the coronavirus goes. And let's remember, take a look at my recent weekly news around Bali and Asia. You'll see that I mentioned there the problems around mudik. So mudik we're in the mudik mode, and I have a report on something happening here above it in a little while. And so if things go well, according to these reports, Bali may open in October. Now, whether there's going to be tourists, let's say, for argument's sake, that Bali decides to open, and according to several of these articles, the government and the tourism players will be looking as quickly as June, July, at promos to get people to come back. Will people come back? How are things going to be? Remember that a lot of our tourists come from Asia, especially China is our biggest player here. Are they going to be ready to go back on vacation? Could be. I was talking to a couple of friends last night in China. They're ready to go. They're ready to get out, do some tourism. So it's possible. You can never tell. Am I happy about this push for the starting tourism? No, not particularly, because I still think the island needs to diversify. But that doesn't seem to be in anybody's plans these days. And so we could be open as soon as October. Let's hope so. And next, Denpasar checks. Now, I also talked about this in the weekly news around Bali and Asia, and also my last Bali COVID-19 update. The checkpoints, there were 11 checkpoints set up around Denpasar to keep people from coming into the city that had no business there. They needed to be tested, and they needed to have a reason to come in. Well, you can see from this photo, there's what happened. People lined up, forget social distancing, being checked. And were people turned back? Yes. According to an article in the Bali, 410 people were asked to turn around and go home. So the first day, right, there was a backup. Now, according to this article, on the second day, those kind of backups didn't happen because they added extra personnel and they streamlined their checking system, and so they turned around 410 people, and according to the article, 47 of those were without masks. They asked them to either go home and get a mask or buy one. 361 people were turned around because they had no clear objectives in coming into Denpasar, or they did not have a certificate explaining why they needed to be there. 2 people had temperatures above 38 degrees Celsius, and 4 people were on Mudik. People are still trying to get by with Mudik. 4 people were with Mudik, and 12 people were orang pulang kampung. They were going back to their home. So, is it working? Yes, and authorities said that they're making sure that everybody knows that this is only because of COVID-19. This is to keep the virus from spreading, and that once the period, which I believe is July 12th, once that comes, things will go back to normal and people will be able to move freely to and from Denpasar. And so, interesting. I think it's a good idea at this point. It looks like things are working here. People have gotten more serious. I noticed today in the kampung, people walking around, some people, not everybody, some people, wearing a mask. And so this is getting better. The government has said that some people, and this is of 410, are not being disciplined, still doing things they're not supposed to, and that's a story coming up. And people have been trying to get around the Mudik ban. I've mentioned that before, hiding in trucks, hiding in ambulances, and now 7 people were arrested at the port at Gilimanuk, selling fake health certificates for people that wanted to travel, despite the ban on Mudik. And who was arrested? 4 Ojek drivers, those are motorcycle taxis, Ojek, 2 travel agency employees, and a man who runs a printing business. And they were caught selling these documents to travelers at the Gilimanuk Port. And Gilimanuk is where you can take ferries to Java. So they were on their way back to Java. In order to get on the ferry to go to Java, you need to have a health certificate. And apparently people did not, and so they bought some forged ones. And it says these were fake health certificates, and there were 2 different groups. The 7 people were from 2 different groups, and they were sold these for one sold one for 25,000 a piece. Another group sold them for 100,000 a piece. So 100,000 a piece. The current exchange rates is around $7. And so the police, in addition to arresting these fellows, got 5 fake and signed certificates from the suspects, along with 6 letter forms that had not been signed, 2 mobile phones, a computer, a printing machine, and 200,000 rupees in cash. And They are being charged on the criminal code of document forgery and medical letter forgery, and they can be punished up to 6 years in prison. Now, will they get 6 years in prison? Probably not. But see, people are desperate to do MUDIC, and it was obvious this was going to be a problem. And with the flip-flopping of the government on the transportation issue that I talked about yesterday in the weekly news, first public transportation was closed, then it was open, but it was only open to certain people. You had to have documents. Well, you don't have the documents, you can buy forged documents. And so that's happening. And what else? Generally, well, life here in Singaraja goes on as normal. People are shopping. Most people are wearing masks now. Social distancing still is not really being carried out anywhere. There's people jammed up next to each other in the markets, in the supermarkets. So the social distancing thing is not really working all that well, but the masks are. And so that's the good news. The weather, it's been hot, sunny. Today we got some rain, clouded up in the afternoon. Morning was gorgeous. And so it seems like things may be coming back to normal. You can never tell. But it's another beautiful day in Bali, and so that's it. This was just a short update. Things are looking better. And so follow your local rules, stay safe, wear a mask, keep your distance, and see you next time.